What's up, YouTube? It's your girl Shani, and welcome back to the Woman's Palace. Now, today we're going to talk a little bit about making peace with your past. My main point on making peace with your past, I feel like it's it's a mandatory. It's mandatory you make peace with your past, because if not, you're not going to be able to live your future, because your past is going to keep repeating itself. We have to get to a point in our life where you have to go through, first and foremost, accept what life have handed you. I feel like most of the time people want to be in denial, or they want to say they're not, they don't feel this way or they don't feel that way. They try to bury their feelings. But I heard Pastor R.C. Blake say, feelings buried alive never die. And that's so true. You can find yourself. We live in this world that wants to paint this picture of being ruthless, or we don't have emotions. But if you have emotions, you are weak, or you are this. But in reality, we are human beings and we have emotions, and that's what's wrong with most people. Most people want to bury their feelings, and then they act out in a way that they think it's them. And it's not them. It's because they have all this unhealed trauma that they need to address. I have realized that emotions are visitors. They're not here to stay, but when you allow them to stay, they become a state of mind and they only affect you. I'm coming to realize a lot of things, that life doesn't come to us, it comes from us. What you get out in this world is what are you putting out into the universe. If you have all that hurt, all that pain, all this bitterness, all this unforgiveness in your heart, within you, what do you think is going to come back to you? And that's why I say you have to make peace with your past, because if you don't, you're going to keep revisiting your past. You're not going to be able to move forward. You're going to keep reliving the past instead of taking time to yourself. And all this is just what I'm learning within myself. I always keep saying life is fast. You can get so caught up in the world that you think you are what you see, but you are not what you see. You are not your body. You are not what you see. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. And if you drift off in the world and you just in the world, you will forget that. You are more than what you see, and you got to be able to take care of your spirit, your soul, your inner being. And that requires you to process things. You have to sit with your feelings. A lot of people don't want to feel things, but how else are you going to get through it if you don't go through it? You got to be able to accept things first, and I always say this, I got a lot of stuff coming. You have to voice how you feel. You can't just bottle it up and say, oh, I'm fine, I'm this, and you're not fine. If you're not fine, say I'm not fine. That hurt me. That really took a toll on me. I hate you. You got to be able to voice how you feel, because you have to sit with your pain. You have to process it. A lot of people think that you don't have to process a thing. You can just, I'll get over it. No, you're not going to get over it. I always say this, I wrote this in my book, life is a university. And just like if you don't pass a certain grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade, you flunk, you got to repeat that. And you're going to keep repeating it until you pass it. That's how life is. A lot of people are grown, 35, 45, but still in 3rd grade, because they won't take what life handed to them and process it and learn what life was trying to teach them. Life is all about spiritual lessons, and the only way that you can be able to move forward in life is processing those lessons and moving to the next level. Because you're gonna be in school to the day you die. Okay. Now, it ain't like going to school, but it's life. It's going to everybody you come across will teach you a lesson. Some lessons will be good, some lessons will be bad. But in order for you to move forward in life, you're going to have to pass. What did that come teach you? And I had learned, because I used to be like this, like, why me? Why do I have to go through this? And something just popped in me, like, why not you? Who are you? And I had to sit there and think about when Jesus went through all that pain, everything he went through. Why do you think we're going to be exempt from pain? Why do you think we're going to be exempt? Like, who are we to think that we're not going to be able to have to go through things? Things are sent to teach us things. And I sit here and say, if God allowed it, I'm very much learning God is an intentional God. And if God is not the orchestrator of most of the things that happen to us in life. But everything has to go through God. So he does allow things. So if he allowed it, that means it has a purpose, and a lot of people get so caught up in why me, like I was, that you forget, what did that come to teach me? And I had to think about, God had me think about with a baby. You know how when a baby put their hand on the stove or they burn themselves, if they don't know nothing else, they know not to put their hand on that stove again, right? That's life. Sometimes life have to come teach you things so you know not to go down that road again. Sometimes you need pain in order to show you something that you didn't know before. That is life. It's lessons. But people get so caught up on the pain that they not looking at the bigger picture. What is the bigger picture? And that's where you got to be able to get acceptance. Like, I had to get to a point in my life where I had to accept a lot of things, and I sat there. It was a period of time where because I feel God allows us to mourn. That's why he sent Jesus. I always say this. God knows what we go through because Jesus was in the flesh. So he knows our emotions, because as human beings, you have emotions. Our spirits don't really have emotions, but it's our bodies, okay? But even in that sense, you have to get to a point in your life where you accept certain things. You got to sit down with yourself. And this is where I always say, take time to yourself. Stop being so caught up in the world. The world is fast, that you forget that you are not you in this world, but you're not of this world. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. You are not from here. And you have to be able to go back to your core center. Go back to who you are and process things. Heal yourself, because you're only affecting you. If you don't make peace with your past, you're only going to affect yourself. Because like I said, life don't come to you, it comes from you. You create your life from what's within you. So if you want to keep holding on to that hurt, that unforgiveness, that bitterness, that's what your life is going to be. And you're never going to move forward in life until you be able to accept a thing, process a thing, be okay with a thing, And I say forgiveness is a journey, and I feel like the biggest thing is forgiveness. Unforgiveness in your heart. God, it say in the Bible, even then, and y'all know I ain't never coming with my scriptures for y'all, because I want y'all to go read your Bible, okay? So he says, if before you come to him, go make peace with anybody who you at odds with. It don't say that, but read your Bible, you'll know what I mean. And in that sense, you got to get that out your heart, and I feel like when you realize that life is not, we don't have battles against flesh and blood. You feel me? Your enemy is not a human being. Your enemy is with the spirit. And sometimes, like I said, it's not the person, it's the spirit inside the person. So you got to be able to realize that and forgive that person, because we all human. We all going through the same thing. We all got battles, and once I realized that, I was able to forgive a lot of people in my life, everybody in my life, because you realize that, I don't even know if y'all know the scripture where God hardened Pharaoh's heart. So sometimes God will harden people's heart, or allow that person to treat you that way to get you to do something within you. Some people, why they do me like that? Well, maybe you needed that, because God needed you to get along with yourself, to process within yourself, and it was easy for me. I feel like it was way more easier for me to forgive people than to forgive myself, because once you sit down with yourself and you realize that your life, everything that you have went through in your life is because of you. We live in a generation that everybody want to blame everybody else. Oh, it's because of this person, or it's because of that person, I'm this way. No, when it boils down to, you are the reason for everything that happened in your life. Now, some situations you can sit there and say, okay, well, by default, but a lot of things, your life is the way it is because of you. That's a hard pill to swallow. It was a hard pill to swallow for me, because I sit there and think to myself, how could I be so dumb? How could I be so this? And like, and then that was another hard pill. But let me tell you how you can get to a better place of forgiving yourself, because you have to realize your old self what made you into your new self. So sometimes you need it to be dumb in order to get to a point where you're wise. You get what I'm saying? So you just got to make peace with it. Make peace with the dumb you. That's what I call myself. The dumb me made me my wise me. It's certain stuff I wouldn't dare do again. But that's because my old me taught me what not to do again. And that's why I say just accept it. Accept it. Accept the cards that you were dealt. Accept that you were probably born into a family that didn't have your best interests at heart. And then I even have to sit there and think, we put this expectation on people when not realizing we are all human. And I've known this for even having a child now. I sat there and thought about it. I didn't have it all together when I had my son. I'm just learning and growing, trying to figure it out why I have my son. And I have to realize that's us with our parents too. And a lot of people put this expectation on their parents, or where they don't forgive their parents and all this other stuff. And it's just like, you don't know what they went through. You don't know what demons they fighting, because in all reality, that's what we fighting. We fighting against the adversary spiritually, and I just say that not to take things personally, but to realize that you are on this self journey alone. It's nosy. You are on this self journey alone. You came here. Before you came here, you were with God. That's why God said, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. We were spiritual beings before we got into this body. And God sent you here on earth to learn lessons. What does that mean? To go through pain, to go through things, to mold you, to shape you into the person that you are supposed to be. And you got to know that everything you go through is basically pushing you forward into your purpose. And I'm realizing everything you've been through is going to be working out for your good, because you're going to be able to teach somebody. Some people is stuck. Like I said, it's a lot of people out here that's stuck. People just be staring. It'd be a lot of people out here that's stuck, and they don't know why they stuck. And they have to realize it's within. Everybody try to go live their life from the outside. Let me go do this. Let me go do that. You can't live your life from outside in. You got to live your life from inside out. Okay? So I say this to make peace with your past. Learn to accept things. Learn to process things. Go process your feelings. Feel it. And no, it's not going to be easy. And I always say this because I think it's easier said than done. It is. But would you rather go through it to get to the other side, or stay stuck in it the rest of your life? Because you're not going to be able to move forward until you be able to process what you've been through. Accept it and move forward. Move forward with what it taught you. Use what it taught you to be wiser, more knowledgeable, moving forward. Know not to go down that road again, because it's going to be many roads in this life. We all on the journey, but you got to know which way to go. Don't just be going here or there, because like I said, some roads you're going to go down, it's going to be ditches. Some roads you're going to go down, it's a dead end. But see, if you go down a road, you're going to know. So when you move forward, I know not to go down that road. I didn't seen that before. You feel what I'm saying? Don't get so caught up on he did this or she did that. Baby, that is the part. They was just playing their part in their story. I didn't got to a point, baby. I thank a person. Thank you for playing your part in my story. Because if God allowed it, he had a reason for that. And that's where I'm at in my life now. I don't take things so personal. I don't get so caught up on why they do me like that. Okay, if you did that, that must mean God allowed you, because you can't do nothing that God ain't allowed you to do. And that's where I'm at in my life. So if you did it, okay, play your part. And baby, sometimes I think the hell out of a person. You play the hell out of your part, okay? Okay, it's a mosquito. That means it's time to go. But yeah, make peace with your past. Love on yourself. Get into your spirit. Forgive people. Live your life for you, so when you move forward, you can go forward and not repeat the same mistakes over and over again, but yet move forward wiser and better. All right,